Good morning, YouTube. So we are going to go to a place called Keystone in Jacksonville, Florida. And what this place is, I'm already down in Jacksonville, so most of the work is already done. But what this place is it's not just a rock yard for us to get aggregate, but it's also a chip yard, an ash yard, and it's down there at the Port of Jacksonville area. And I showed you guys in a previous video, like kind of driving through, and I said we would talk about it more in depth in a later video, and that's going to be this video, because this place can be really confusing. Getting in and out can really be a pain in the butt. I'll have the volume on my CB up a little bit. Hopefully it won't be overbearing that it overtakes the video. But you might get to hear a whole lot of talking, and some of it pertains to us and some of it pertains to the chip trucks. Mostly it's the chip trucks. So I'm going to give you a quick rundown now of what happens, so when we get there and I'm driving, I can't really stop and hold up everybody to explain in more detail. So I'm going to refer you back to the ability to go back and forth between the video and this, what you see and what I'm saying. So later on, when you're like, oh crap, what was all that about? You could go back to this point in the video and start over and then hear what I said. So when you enter this place, it's called Keystone, and inside Keystone is also Vulcan. When you enter this place, there's going to be a scale, and it's going to be a one-lane road. The scale is not for the aggregate guys. That's for the chip trucks, and that's for the ash trucks. Okay, so if you're a chip truck or an ash truck, whether you're delivering chip or you're picking up chip or picking up ash, you're going to call your truck company, your truck number, your ticket number, and tell the scale house right there by the scale what you're doing. Either you're delivering chip or you're picking up chip, whatever. And so it'd be like Dan's Trucking, truck number OU812, picking up Turkish chip. And they'll say, okay, go ahead for your lightweight. You get on the scale, drive in onto the scale, you get your lightweight. He'll say, all right, I got you. You go around, get loaded. Then you'll come back out and hit the same scale. You'll let them know you're outbound, and your ticket number, your name, your truck number, your ticket number, and that you're outbound. And then he'll say, good, and he got you. It's that simple if you're on that side of the house, whether you're doing ash or you're doing chip. Where it gets a little bit confusing is then you have us running in and out as well, and there's a one-lane road between the scale building and the scale. And so you have us trying to get out while you have us trying to get in on the same road. So we kind of have to pay attention. Like as you're approaching, you got to kind of look through the fence and look through to see if anybody loaded from our side of the house is trying to come out. Because we don't use that scale. The only time we use that scale is if the back scale's broke or being calibrated or worked on or something like that. Then they'll coordinate us to use that scale. Those chip trucks and ash trucks don't use the back scale unless the front scale that we're going to first drive through is broke or having maintenance done to it. So what we're going to do as the aggregate side of the house there to get 89s and 57s is we're going to go between the scale house and the scale, hopefully not get into a head-on collision with anybody, and then we go in and we're going to make a right or a left, and then we're going to make a right, and we're going to go back to our scale, and then I'll show you our scale. And when you're first time there or once a month, you have to get your lightweight, you have to get your tare, and so we'll go over all that once we get past the entrance, because the entrance can be a problem, and if you're in the way, you're in the way. And you got these people that are trying to get paid by the load, and then here you are in their way. So the first time that I went there, it was me and Walter, and I led, and I had no idea what the hell to do. I just went in there, saw the scale, figured, oh, I got to get a lightweight. So I lined up to get on the scale, and the guy's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I need a lightweight for a rock. And, you know, he was like, all right, well, go ahead. And he called us on, and then we went out and we got on the scale, and he was like, hey, we'll go ahead and run a ticket out to you, but when you come back, go to the scale in the back. And we were like, huh? So when we came back, we figured out the right way to do it. So they were very polite about it, but I know we held up a lot of people and we pissed off a lot of drivers. And oh well, but still, you know, I mean, I don't want to go, you know, you don't go into someone's house and put mud on their carpet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, so now we got it. So that's why I'm doing this video. So if you're going to Keystone in Jacksonville, Florida, I hope this video is going to help you. So remember, the first scale we approach, that's for chip trucks and ash trucks. If you're going to go down there like us to get rock to service our plant or any other plant, then you don't go on that first scale unless they tell you to. Alright, so we got about 7 or 8 minutes and then we'll be there. So now, let's talk about this weekend. What a great freaking weekend I had. Besides just an awesome weekend with the boys. And, you know, my kid plays baseball for his school. He's the catcher. And one of his really good friends is the pitcher. And they've been the dynamic duo for a long time. From county league through now school league. And so his name's Jet. He's the pitcher. He slept over this weekend, Friday night, Saturday night. So we just had a great weekend. We watched Fast Times at Ridgemont High, which is an ultimate show. You know, Sean Penn, the stoner, in that video. He's just constantly, stoned, dude. Freaking hilarious. Always has his shirt off. Him and his buddies, his stoner buddies, always having their shirts off and shit. That was funny. And we just had a great weekend. We played horse and watched movies and played Fortnite and you know, did other things, whatever. Rode around in the Jeep. But then yesterday, I did what I told you guys I was going to do. I bought 4 trailing arms for my Jeep for the rear, 2 uppers and 2 lowers, of course. That's how they come. And you know, your upper trailing arms can keep the rear end from twisting backwards when you accelerate, because you know there's torque, and the upper trailing arms is what makes your wheels go forward. If you didn't have those upper trailing arms, instead of your wheels spinning forward, your rear end would just spin backwards, because it would be easier for your rear end to just snap, just go backwards. It's a lot less weight. So the upper trailing arms hold the top of the rear end to the frame of the Jeep or truck or car, whatever. And that's what keeps your rear end locked. So when you accelerate, it keeps your rear end straight, and it makes the wheels turn through the axles, of course. If those upper trailing arms are loose, then you get knocking. You'll get knocking like this. Okay, that you'll feel in your pedal. A little bit of vibration in your seat. The lower trailing arms, those are vital. Okay, those keep your rear end straight. Alright, that keeps your ass from turning the Jeep. So if you have bad bushings in your trailing arms, then you're going to have a lot of drifting in your rear end. The back of your vehicle is going to steer your vehicle. Alright, and that's what I was experiencing. I had wobble, and I felt like every once in a while my Jeep would just dart to one side and to the other. It was bad, and if I hit bumps, it was bad. It was like I could feel it. So I knew that the bushings were bad in my trailing arms. It's hard to see it, because when you put the trailing arms with the bushings into the mount on the frame or into the mount on the rear end, it's pretty much sandwiched. And you can see a little bit of the rubber. If you get in there with a flashlight, you might be able to see. But if you have experience and you know what you're feeling, then you just know my ass is loose and I need to tighten it. Preparation age. But so I knew that there was something going on, and I said in previous videos I was going to go ahead and change out my trailing arm. So I didn't have time with the boys there to do all 4, but I did the 2 lower ones, and instantly we noticed the difference backing out of the driveway. I was like, holy crap. So between the new U-joints that I put on the rear drive shaft, both U-joints were replaced, the one up by the transmission, and then the one up by the rear end. I replaced those, what, Thursday or something? Yeah, I think I replaced those Thursday. And then now the trailing arms yesterday, that thing is like brand new, freaking off the showroom floor, smooth, vibrations have just about virtually completely gone. I still need to do the upper trailing arms, which will help with a little rumble in the seat, just a little, and you know, because you still have a little bit of torque that's trying to force the rear end to flip backwards, and those bushings being loose are allowing that little bit of vibration to transfer. So I don't expect a major difference, if any difference at all, when I put those upper trailing arms in. I don't know if I'm actually going to feel a difference, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, all right, this is 50th Street off of Main Street. So whether you come up 95 or whatever, if you're coming from the north, you're gonna come this way and get off on 357 is the exit, and then you're gonna head east all the way to the end to Main Street. You'll make a right, and then you'll get to 50th, and you'll make a left. It's the very first street if you're coming from the north. If you're coming from the south, I'm not exactly sure. Somewhere down there you will make your way in. Sorry about the sun. I've been waiting to do this video to get the sun to rise. So you're going to take this 50th Street here. This is the only truck route in if you're up north. Those other streets that you can take have a weight limit unless you're doing a local delivery. Well, we're not doing a local delivery or a local pickup. All right, that's a residential neighborhood. I think it's 6-ton or 6,000 pound weight limit. So, you know, you don't want to get caught on that crowd. But yeah, those trailing arms, super easy to do. I have an electric impact, so it did help a lot having that. I laid underneath it with the frame on jack stands, took the rear tires off, put ramps underneath the drums, the rear drums, so in case the jack stand failed, it would fall on the rear end at least. You know, just lay underneath there with the impact, and you know, that made it nice and easy. So you come down here to the end, as you see, and there's a big Sunoco fuel point here for their trucks to get fuel. You'll see all different types of companies in here getting fuel. So hopefully this video is going to help you guys out. It really screwed. Me and Walter, we were screwed. We had no idea. We were just told, hey, go here, get 57s and bring it to the Kingsland plant. And we were like, huh? Okay. Road trip. Pack the cooler and head on down. And it was like, we didn't know what the hell we're doing. We're both in long-nosed Peterbilt. It's not like we got little tiny trucks that we can just jump around. So we had to figure this out. And we did. We figured it out real quick. And you know, we like coming down here. It's a nice facility. The people are nice. It's 99% professionally run. Over on the chip side, they got a loader operator that is he's probably close to retirement. He's at his wit's end with some of these drivers that he deals with. You can tell by the way he talks. But I'll go ahead and turn the radio up. You guys can listen a little bit. You'll hear trucks calling their ticket number, their truck number, and what they're doing. That's not what I do. That's what the chip and the ash guys do. But we're within a mile of the facility.
They pay you for everything you do. If I get a flat tire, pay me $25 an hour to make it in the shop till I get it fixed. I mean, it's $100 to wash the truck. If I get up in the morning and can't go to work because it's too wet, I mean, $100 that day, but for nothing. Thank you, sir. You have a good day. See you tomorrow. Bye, bud.
Okay, well, that was...
Let me get 28 and a half for that old 5-7 watt, driver. Yes, sir. 10-4.
So somebody just said they needed 27 and a half or 28 and a half for the 57 wash. That's what I get. But I can only do 22 and a half when I'm going over the state line because I got to go through the scales.
Thank you.
the radio will get a little bit clearer. There's a big takedown right here at this house, on this gray house on the right. Police surrounded that house, guns out, cop cars everywhere last week. It's like Thursday or Friday. I think it was Thursday.
You see what happened. We're also getting them 50 trucks over there.
So Keystone's right here to the left. And there's a truck on the scale. That's a chipper truck is on the scale, so he's scaling out. Nobody's out here on the street. If you're on the street, you have priority. They're going to try to get you in right away. So I have to look pretty hard here to make sure nobody's coming out. And I squeeze in between the scale and the building. So you can see if somebody is trying to come out, like we will be in a few minutes, it can really suck. And then these chipper trucks that are in front of us, they're waiting. They're staged to come out, to get on the scale and come out. That red Peterbilt, that's an ash truck.
Are you sure?
These other trucks are chip trucks.
Quicker, 1848 coming
Now
out.
you'll see to the right and coming to the center, a truck that's on the spaceship. He's coming down. He's on the rocket launcher coming down right now, coming almost center in the screen. So that's a big giant lift for the chip trucks, and they just lift the truck straight up in the air. At not a 90-degree angle, but like damn close, man. They lift them trucks up because those chip trucks, they're not hydraulically lifted beds like ours are. So those guys, they lift the whole truck and trailer straight up, and all the chip falls out into a big giant pit and conveyor belts over to that. You'll have a better view of it on our way out. And if you remember from last week's video, the one I posted, I think Thursday, there's one of them ships, and he's offloading ash with his own self-contained crane, and I believe that's still the same ship. It takes a long time for them to unload that stuff. Right here to the right now, if you're here for what we do, Rob, this is commercial 89 to the right, and then you'll have commercial 57s to the right. All right, that's different from DOT 57s and DOT 89s. DOT 57s and DOT 89s is washed, so you can tell them washed 57s or washed 89s, or you can tell them DOT 57s, DOT 89s. That is what we're all in line for right now. We're all getting, that guy's loading up with 57s washed. And then you see the 89 pile to the right. Wait, I think I said to the left was the 89 pile that was commercial. It was to the right. To the right of that truck with the purple fenders way up in front of us. Hopefully you can see it. My windshield support bar might actually be blocking it. The loader's loading them right now. Just off his front end is washed 89s. So what they do is they take this unwashed 89s or the unwashed 57s, they load it into a big old hopper, it conveyor belts up into this little system, and it washes the 57s. Or the 89s. Now, what does that mean exactly? I don't know. I think it takes everything out of it that would be considered an impurity that you don't want to have in like bridge work or anything like that. Any concrete work that you're building bridges. You can't have any voids, no plastics, no wrong size, no impurities, I guess you could say. So that's like a big giant shaker that's that's spitting out the washed stuff. So you got washed 57s right directly in front of me, and you got washed 89s. So we're going to get the washed 89s, and then when we leave on our way out will be the unwashed or commercial 57s. And then the unwashed or commercial 89s is right there to our right, back there. I get confused with the camera thinking right and left, and then I say the wrong thing, but yeah. So this is just a big loop around. So when you come in here for your first time, you're going to scale in, get your lightweight, and I'll show you that. And then you come around this way, which is a one-way. So you actually go past the scale, do a U-turn, come on the scale. There's a little button you press the button, and somebody's going to ask you what's up. You tell them, you know, who you are. You're here for a lightweight, and then you get in line here to get your rock, and then you get right back on that same scale. Tell them who you are, what you got, and they'll print you out a ticket inside that little building. You open the little door, and there's your ticket, and then you leave. The same way you came in is the same way you go out. And you just make sure you don't get into no head-on collisions with anybody coming in. And they try to bully you. You know, they try to come in and then act like, as you're coming out, they act like, you know, they're just going to keep on coming in, like they don't notice you or something. It's like, nah, dude, right here, you got these nuts, and you're moving. And you back them right the hell up, because you don't back up when you're loaded. So, you know, loaded trucks have the right of way. Now, if it's a stalemate and you're both entering at the same time, stop and let that truck out of traffic. But if you're already committed, no, you don't back up. You're going to hit a chip truck or somebody that's coming in behind you. You don't back up. So if anything, make that bastard stop, then you can swing around them and go. So, but that's how this place works. So I'll kill it, and then I'll be back in a little bit, and we'll get loaded, and then we'll head out. Okay, so there you go. Just off to the left of this truck in front of us, you see the washer, and I guess, I mean, I don't know what it's doing exactly. I think, like I said, like, you probably can't see it vibrating, but it's vibrating like crazy. And they dumped a rock over on behind this pile. That there's a big giant hopper. They dumped a rock in there, and it conveyor belts up to the top of that machine. And it's vibrating like crazy. And I think it's just sifting out, you know, things that would be considered impurities. And then it conveyor belts up and makes a pile. So you see the pile being made right here over the cab of that truck that's finishing up getting loaded now. And then they swing that conveyor belt over for the 57s that they're pulling from. The loader man's pulling from right now. Now that loader that's going from left to right across the screen about to leave, he's going to go get a scoop of 89s and feed the pig and get it washed. So that's what he's doing. He's just running loads back and forth. They got 3 loaders out here. They'll have 2 running loads back and forth and 1 steady loaded trucks. And then when they get backed up, they'll pull a second one over to load trucks. Yeah, so that's how that works. But you can sit here and you can watch that 89 pile be built. Like the 89's coming off the conveyor belt right in front of you. And you just watch that pile just get built. Just watch it grow. It's pretty cool, actually. I'll go ahead and just stay straight on right now. I don't know if you have zoom, if you're capable of zooming in, but you zoom in and you can just see the rock just piling up and raining down. You know, it starts from nothing, and there you go. You got that big old pile. You can just sit here all day and watch. Look at that, just like dripping down. It's neat, man. It's like water, but it's not. It's rock. It's cool. I don't know. Stupid things, I know. People will make a video of that and then just title it Satisfying. And it'll have like 10 million views. But it's true. It is satisfying. I can never do this loader operator stuff that they do here. These people are just steady, solid loading trucks. That's the same guy that's been here since 5 a.m. this morning when he loaded me with my first load. And he's still going. And every time I come here, this is my 4th load, 11 o'clock almost. And it's been the same guy here. It's like, did he even get a chance to like drink water, take a leak, whatever? Because you got trucks all lined up behind me. You got more trucks lined up behind me. They can't stop.
I-25 on deck. Thank you, man.
fast as they take from the pile, the conveyor belt's adding it. Now here comes a loader man hauling ass with a load of 89s from right to left now, going to feed the machine. And they get all this rock. This isn't granite. It looks like granite, but it's not granite. It's actually a limestone mix. It's not as limey as the limestone we get up in Savannah. That's like a chalky, white, slimy shit, especially when it's wet. Let me let this guy know. Hey, so we're going to get 89s, 23 tons of 89s, please.
2389.
That's right, thank you. But they get this. They get this rock off of the.
What are you doing that for?
He's bleeding over onto the. He's using a Motorola and he's bleeding over.
The other lady.
That's seal.
CRT 1602 and 1565.
Chip truck.
Coming in for certainty.
See, that's a chip truck. He's calling himself in and off the scale.
You want to do that?
I'm sure he's alright. I don't know why he's not moving yet. In front of us. Oh, you know what? It's blocked by the screen. Hold on.
I'm good, Tony.
See that truck right there? The back of that truck? He's waiting to get loaded with the unwashed 57 pile. Right there. Satisfying. Just make small piles big.
Help me over there where you're at, John.
Sometimes they hit me hard.
Put his last bucket on there.
Yeah, I just say you gonna be way over there, just go straight ahead.
Let's go straight ahead when he gets done.
That's that guy talking to when he gets done. That's the guy I said he's like he's got to be close to retirement because he's like he gets pretty uppity with some of the drivers. Last week was pretty bad. I was like, dang, man. It's like I wanted to come over to the radio and be like, damn, dude, you might need to put in for some vacation before you get fired. Take a break. But man, they got to deal with some dumb shit, dude. They really do. I see some dumb shit, but I get to leave. These people have to deal with that, man, in their workplace all day long with some of us drivers, man. We can be some pretty stupid, ignorant people. Oh, needs to get a little bit more. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so we just got loaded. I really don't need my radio on anymore, my CB. Unless I want to eavesdrop in. Or somebody might announce that they're coming in as I'm trying to leave. But really, I just look. I just kind of pay attention to what's going on. I don't, whatever. At this point, I turn the radio off because it's just too much chatter. Passing the 57's commercial, as you see the sign right here to our right. So that's the unwashed 57s. And you got this big old giant stone. You got the ship that's being offloaded with ash. And then to the right is the scale. Now I think this dump truck, he's going to back up and drop this big old giant rock on the ground here. Yeah. instead of coming in and turning to the left and going through the piles here and getting in line, you'll come down where this white pickup truck is, follow the way this white pickup truck is coming, and you're going to come down past this scale, flip a U-turn, and you're going to come on. And then when you come on the scale, there's a little camera. See that camera right there to the left, right on this building? There's a little globe camera, a little yellow box right there. There's a little button right in the middle of that box. You push it, and that gets the scale tender's, the weighmaster's attention.
Yes, sir. T10.
T10, same thing?
Same thing.
You open up a little door and you get your printout. Now, normally you would push that little button to get the girl's attention, but I think she's off today, and so this guy is watching the camera, and when he sees a truck come on, he's just, you know, acknowledging us on the scale. The girl that normally works here, she probably has 15 other jobs that she's doing, so we push the button to get her attention, and then it'll make a beeping sound. And you just let it keep making that beeping sound, and then all of a sudden you'll hear her chime in. You just tell her your truck number and what you got, where you going. But if nothing changes, then you know you keep doing the same thing. Now, if you notice, a truck is, I believe, on the launcher, up in front, just barely to the left, right by that silo. He just dumped his load into the pit, and the conveyor belt to the left is bringing the chip up and making a pile there. But yeah, he already unloaded. It's a big giant platform, and it brings his truck like almost straight up in the air. All the chip will fall out into the pit, and conveyor belt's up. No, he's still loaded. So that's someone else. I guess what I can do, hold on a second. Alright, I'm going to back up. He's going up now. I'm going to give you guys a shot of this. It's pretty neat. Check my backup skills here. So just a little bit more, and then I'll straighten out to get out of everybody's way. There you go, right there. The sun's probably gonna suck, but let's see if I can find a way to get this. Fast. It doesn't shoot it up, but it gets them up there, and then you see the stuff just dumping out of the back here. There it goes. About it. But look how high he is. It's crazy. That's crazy. That's nuts, man. The guy's looking at me like, what? He held up for me. Look how high that thing is, man. Let me see if I can get you a better view. Hold on, sorry. Like really give you the angle. That's a hell of a ride right there. But the guy's actually not in the vehicle. The guy's actually in the booth right here. There's no way they would let you be in the vehicle. And if that hydraulic hose or something ever broke, I mean, I'm sure there's locks in those pistons that wouldn't allow it to come slamming down. But oh my God, could you imagine if it could just come slamming down? That'd be nutsola. So one last thing we got to do is just pay attention. There's a car that's going out and a dump truck going out. This guy's getting his lightweight. He just emptied. There's my security guard, little buddy. Hi. And we are clear. I wish they'd fix some of these holes. And that's all she wrote. That's a trip into Keystone, and Keystone / Vulcan. That's it. So hopefully, if you guys ever come down here, if you're in this business and you come down here, you have to come to this place. You'll remember my video, and hopefully it'll help you out. Hopefully you won't look like as much of an idiot as I looked like the very first time I came here. But yeah, I've got things figured out. That's it. Appreciate it, guys. I'll catch you guys on another video. Thank you so much.